So, Wish came out 2.5 years ago, and I feel kinda old. I swear it came out like yesterday. This movie has been the bane of my existence for a very long time. But not for the reasons you think. I actually really loved it. Which led me to trying to find like-minded people, and that didn't end well. For some reason, a lot of people side with the villain of the story, and the only reason I can think of is that he's hot, and the opposition is a 17-year-old. So today, I'd like to dissect why Magnifico is, in fact, a bad person. I know, shocking. But first, we have to understand what his kingdom even represents, and why it's important. King Magnifico used to be a little boy living in a relatively happy community. At least that's what we see in the tapestry in his office. His parents and entire land were destroyed by selfish, thieving people, which, of course, left a mark on him as a person. And he decided to learn magic in order to protect other people, or rather, their passions, aka wishes. He studied magic from all around the world, learned a spell to extract a person's greatest desire, in order to materialize and protect it. This isn't enough though. He decided that he needs his own kingdom. So, with his loyal wife, they travel to different lands and find an island somewhere in the Mediterranean Sea, where people are promised that if they're good enough, they'll have their wishes granted. So people from all around the world travel to his island in order to be protected, with the hope that their greatest wish would be granted someday. So, what is the issue here, or rather, several issues? The first issue is that when you give your wish to Magnifico, you lose the core part of yourself. That causes people to feel empty inside, like for example, Simon O'Donoghue, whose friends point out that he turned boring after giving his wish, or the new citizen couple, who look like they have their souls drained. Even the people who look happy actually feel this too, like our protagonist Asha's grandfather, who was insanely disappointed at the realization that he will never have his wish granted. The second issue is that the citizens are encouraged to lie, like Asha herself, who openly says that if you give your wish, you won't regret it or miss it. Of course, she doesn't know that that's not true, because she's not the appropriate age to consensually give her wish. But other citizens do this too. Most people just lie to themselves and others to cope with the feeling of emptiness, giving each other false hope that their wishes will someday be granted. The third issue is that this system actually leaves people with more questions than satisfying answers. They're kept in the dark about what actually happens to their wishes, on why they have to forget the contents of said wishes, and why they can't change them when their desires and priorities change as they grow. These things are kept a secret, and with no good reason other than the citizens not wanting them back. If you don't remember what you lost, how can you be sure that what you lost was even necessary to begin with? The fourth issue is that the system he's built is inconsistent. In the song Welcome to Rosas, we are told that King Magnifico grants one wish per month, but in the song This Is the Things I Get, Magnifico himself says, "I granted 14 wishes last year. Come on, that's a high percent," which indicates that he makes exceptions to the rule and will grant more wishes, which is a good thing, right? Actually, no. It's a way of manipulation. He admits to Asha that most wishes will never be granted. So this is just a performance to get people to give their wishes, which is, in fact, bad. We analyzed the technical flaws of Magnifico's system, but what about the personal ones? The ones that make him a villain? After all, building a bad system doesn't indicate a bad character. He still wanted to protect his people, right?
Once upon a time, there was a young man who believed there was nothing more important than a wish.
This is the first thing we hear about Magnifico. He himself considers wishes to be very important and precious. Now, why is that important, you say? Because he refuses to give them back when he isn't planning on granting them, mostly because of his paranoia. He looks at the wish to inspire people and sees a dangerous mob destroying Rosas. I mean, if you interpret it that way, sure. But if you're not aware of what the people mean exactly when they phrase their wishes vaguely, then why not ask directly? Why not give instructions on how to make a wish? Why not give them back and see how they pursue their dreams, stopping the dangerous ones like Asha suggested? Well, because he wants them all for himself.
Generosity has always been the true essence of Rosas.
Meanwhile,
It affected my wishes. The wishes aren't yours to free. They are mine!
He knows the happiness they bring and uses them to fill the void he has from being traumatized as a kid. The reason behind what he's doing is sad, but that's no way to solve your problems, and in the movie we clearly see that it doesn't help him. This trauma is the reason he's considered a tragic hero. Because we all know that trauma excuses all the bad actions someone's committed, right? Unless it's Abuela from Encanto. She is truly pure evil. Magnifico had his reasons to strip people away from their souls and later crush people's dreams, but Abuela being mean to Mirabel? Now that is unforgivable and inexcusable. He was just traumatized. He was manipulated by a book that couldn't speak. He was cursed. That's why he did all the bad things he did. He needs to be saved by true love's kiss. Like, of course, Magnifico is traumatized. Of course, he has reasons to be paranoid, but he's not evil because of those things. Plenty of people are traumatized and they still don't do the things he did. He's evil because he chooses to be evil. He chooses to mock Asha and punish her entire family for her opinion.
I will still protect your Saba's wish. And your mother's. Forever.
He chooses to keep a dangerous book in his office. He chooses to have a secret lair to work with it. He chooses to shut down Amaya's attempts to help him in a healthy way. And he chooses to embrace forbidden magic, knowing that it might not end well for himself and his citizens. And you know why? Not because of trauma, but because he wants power. He will gladly sacrifice his own people if it means he'll get something out of it. I'd give the clothes of Benito's back if you really needed that. I'd be the first one to volunteer Henry if your home were to crumble or if you were in trouble. Everyone focuses on the I let you live here for free and I don't even charge you rent lyric, but never on the one about how he'd basically throw away Benito or Henry, whoever these people are, just to keep his image as a benevolent king. That's the sacrifice that comes with living there rent-free. Being led by an incompetent ruler who'd throw you under the bus for not worshipping him enough, or if a threat arises, or both.
First, you must protect yourself.
That's what I'm doing.
He's irredeemable because, in the end, he does the same thing. Sacrifices everyone for his own safety by using the forbidden book. And I'd argue that the book doesn't really change him. He doesn't suddenly destroy everything on his way. He just does what he always wanted to do. Instead of silently crushing people's dreams by refusing to ever grant them for not viewing him as some perfect god, he starts destroying them physically for power.
Innocent hearts of 3. You dared question me. You don't deserve to be granted.
Really, the only thing that changed is that he learned how to cast evil spells. Even in the scene where Dahlia states that no one can bring him back from the evil he's given into, she reads,
Embrace forbidden magic just once, and you commit to it for eternity.
The usage of the words embrace and commit is oddly specific because embracing something is very different from just using something.
How could you? You know the ways of forbidden magic are...
Unappreciated. Much like I am by my own people.
Committing to something is also very different from being mind-controlled, almost like forbidden magic is an allegory to real-life tyranny or something. No. It's just a cheap way for the writers to make him evil at the last minute and make him out to be the bad guy, unlike the saint he is at the beginning. After all, last-minute additions include excessive foreshadowing and an emphasis on the fact he was bad even before that. No, but like, the DID comments always make me cackle, because how do you not notice how narcissistic he is throughout all of the movie? A funny thing I noticed is that a lot of people talk about how Magnifico is different before and after the song At All Cost. But is he really? Is he? He pretty much displays the same qualities, only to a different degree, because he wasn't angry with Asha before her asking to consider granting her 100-year-old grandfather's wish on his birthday in a kingdom where everyone is promised a fair chance at their wishes being granted. Before even meeting him during Asha's job interview, we see the other candidate going downstairs in tears, yelling the words, "This is a disaster." And after that, we are told that his apprentices are basically glorified assistants. They don't do any of the important work. They deliver tea, listen to him talk, and don't ask any questions.
Some items might seem strange, but why a sorcerer needs what a sorcerer needs is not your concern.
I also want to mention that even his compassion is transactional. When Asha brings up her father, Magnifico asks her a couple of questions, brings up his own upsetting past, and then shows her the wish room to make her feel better. And after a whole musical number about how the sincere desires of people are beautiful and to be protected, he tries to manipulate Asha into wishing to become his best apprentice. So what we have is a corrupt leader who crumbles under the slightest pressure with a system with a bunch of holes and inconsistencies in what appears to be a dictatorship, sacrificing his people and allegedly his own free will in order to protect himself and have his ego stroked by the entirety of his kingdom. And he's praised for building a utopia and pitied for having to grant a wish every month. And Asha is bad because she wanted to have her family's wishes granted and wished upon a star for a better future for her people, unknowingly summoning said star. Right. So about Asha. It is absurd to me that a character working to ensure the happiness of her kingdom and having few goals for herself, mainly securing a good job to survive, is considered the most selfish girl pumped out of the Disney factory. Hello? Like, there's a girl who sold her soul to go to the human world, endangered everybody, and didn't even save the day. Anyway, a lot of people either intentionally or unintentionally like to misinterpret her very clear words about wanting for people to have their autonomy back into forcing Magnifico to grant every single wish that the citizens have.
The wishes you're not going to grant, you could just give them back.
That argument also falls apart multiple times when you consider that the things said by the citizen characters themselves are not about having their wishes granted.
My wish.
It's beautiful.
I'm going to make it happen.
Oh, I can't wait to get started.
Oh, Asha, I may never actually inspire anybody, but now at least I have the chance to try.
It's an assumption from the misleading trailer of the movie, and I'm tired of it.
Some of these will never be granted.
Not some, most.
They deserve more than...
I decide.
Everyone deserves to dream, and nobody has the right to take part of someone else's soul just in case a harmless wish is perceived as one destroying all of humanity.
People think wishes are just ideas. But no, they are a part of your heart. The very best part.
Words said by Magnifico himself. Also, something I want to mention is that a lot of people dunk on this movie for the ending, where Asha gets a wand and because she becomes a fairy godmother. She says no one should decide which wishes should be granted, yet she's the new wish granter who decides which wishes should be granted. First off, nowhere in the movie does she say that no one should decide what wishes should or shouldn't be granted. Her main issue is that Magnifico, and I quote, makes it so people forget the most beautiful parts of themselves. And you know what's even funnier? The fairy godmother doesn't even grant wishes in this universe.
Does Star grant wishes?
No, but I think it wants to help me pursue mine.
Like a fairy godmother.
So if stars and fairy godmothers don't grant wishes, then how is she the new wish granter? Weird, right? Anyway, I want to talk about why I love this character so much and why she's so important to me. Asha is a person who doesn't shy away from telling the truth. She's brutally honest in a way that's not just being honest for the sake of being rude, like Gabo for instance. When she sees that Magnifico lies to the people and holds their wishes, even if he's not going to grant them, she tells him that it's unfair. When she sees her family gaslighting themselves into believing that there's a next time for Sabino, she tells him the truth, and she gets punished both times. So naturally, she has to tone it down a bit, and instead of telling her friends that Magnifico most likely never will grant most of the wishes, she just doesn't talk about it at all. Only asking Dahlia to stall the king for a few minutes so that she can take Sapa's wish and leave. And this is the only truly selfish thing she does, because that could get Dahlia in trouble. But other than that, she looks out for the people. She wants them to have what they deserve, even if she initially thought that it would mean giving their wishes to Magnifico. Oh, and don't get me started on how so many people view wishes as some kind of gifts that the people gave to Magnifico willingly. Not only is this wrong on so many levels morally, but it would also be wrong if they gave him something material. Those wishes aren't gifts. Most people expect them to be granted. They're just given to him so that he she can eventually return them to the people with an upgrade. Something I also really love about Asha is that she always holds herself accountable. When Magnifico crushes her mother's wish, instead of just complaining, she goes back to the kingdom to fix her own messes, because she is the partial cause of it all, even if the responsibility is fully on Magnifico. Even when everything was ruined for her family, she went back to save the people of Rosas from the king, who wouldn't stop at crushing her mother's wish, tortured for her beliefs, yet still singing for her people to finally be free. I think I finally realized why I connected with her more than with Anna, Rapunzel, Mirabelle, Moana, and the other adorable characters, despite them all being seen as the same character copied and pasted in a bunch of movies. She's a regular person with no magical healing powers, not chosen by the ocean, not from a powerful family, not a princess. She's just a young woman whose adventure only started because she chose better for her family, for her people, because she wished. She wasn't obligated to do anything, to even wish, but she still did. She was still ready to take action, and that's why she's so different from all the chosen ones. She's not unique in any capacity, but she is strong, determined, and courageous. She is special because she chose to be special in order to protect her loved ones and her people. And that's so precious to me because we don't get a lot of stories like that from Disney. Stories where the character isn't supposed to do anything but still does out of the goodness of their heart. I love her for that. I love her for her wish because she is probably the only person in the entire Disney catalog whose I Want song isn't about wishing for something more for the person singing, but the people around, the people who made bad choices but have potential to do greatness. That is so relatable to me on so many levels because I've been there. I've wished for people to see things my way even for a bit, to understand and break free from things that they were indoctrinated into feeling. I have had people be upset with me for taking action, for telling the truth and helping those around me to be better. And I love this movie for centering that perspective. And especially, I love Asha for representing that. Thank you for watching. I appreciate every single one of you listening to this video till the end. This is probably my first and only video essay because I'm not really interested in making them, or at least making videos about other people's projects. I prioritize my own personal growth as a writer and artist, which requires me to create my own original stories. That doesn't mean not analyzing other people's stories, of course, but video making requires a lot of effort that could be poured into something I actually love. So, yeah, bye.